What's up, Infected? It's Wolf of the Quarantine, and today I'm taking a look at a game that was sent to me to review, and this is Robotech Force of Arms. Robotech Force of Arms is a game where you and your opponent are going to be taking control of the RDF and the Zendrati, if I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing that. It has been a very, very long time since I've seen Robotech, but you and your opponent are basically those two forces, and you're all trying to position your fighters around the battlefield to have the most tactical advantage to blow up the enemy's fleet. It's basically what you're trying to do. And you're going to be doing that by secretly placing your troops down two at a time around your position of the board. Once everybody's done that, then you're going to play out a hero and a couple support cards. Then once you've done that, you're going to flip everything over and add up all of the numbers, and whoever has on each card in the middle, whoever has the most numbers there is going to win that ship, whether it's yours or mine. If I get yours, I blew it up. If I get mine, I kept it alive. There's a couple other rules where you're going to be able to move ships at the beginning of every one of your turns, so maybe I see you're stacking a bunch on this one card, so maybe I move it, but maybe you plan for it. So maybe that's a bunch of defense cards because you make me, you put one of my ships there instead or something like that. There's a lot of interesting things going on, and then on top of that, you're going to be able to throw out tokens throughout the course of the game as well, where maybe I lock that ship's not going anywhere. Or maybe you put this targeting token on mine and it gives you +2 attack. Maybe you put it on yours, gives you +2 defense. And then of course you're going to play your ships out, and then it's your opponent's turn. You're going to keep doing that till all of your things are out. Then you, like I mentioned, you're going to play your command and your cap and your support cards, flip them over, and determine who's going to be the winner. So when I was younger, I never really got too much into mecha anime, except for, which I'm not going to have this argument here, Neon Genesis Evangelion is my favorite anime, and I'm not going to argue about semantics. It's not a mecha anime, but I was never real big into mecha anime. Gundam Wing, Robotech, Gurren Lagann is probably the closest to a mecha anime that I like, which I do like Gurren Lagann. So I was never real into Robotech. Now, a bunch of my friends are, so I was pretty stoked to get this, so were they, and we sat down and played it, and we all enjoyed it. It is a good, fun, solid, light little tactical game with a lot going on, surprisingly, for it really just being a deck of cards. Each person has, I think it's like 16 cards. Then you have, I think like 10 or something like that, support and captain cards. Then you have the terrain, and that's it. Really, you could fit this whole game, rather than it being in this box here, you could probably fit it in an Ultra Pro deck box. It's not big, or there's not a whole lot to it at all. And it has a surprising amount of depth to it. Now, the game does have a few flaws. Now, the biggest one I want to point out is if you've already played Archmage Origins, this is my biggest problem with the game. It's almost the exact same game. When I first set it up and we played it, my friend that I played it with that is huge with Robotech, he had never played Archmage Origins. He's one of my college buddies, and so he didn't make that distinction, but as soon as I read through the rulebook, I immediately knew the game is almost Archmage Origins, just with a few extra steps. So if you already have Archmage Origins, you'll want to pick this up if you want it for the theme. Other than that, it's not too different. Now, there are a couple key differences, such as the fact that at the beginning of your turn you must move some ships, then you play two people. And your opponent moves the ships, plays two people. Then you have the extra phase where you get to play your two support cards and your captain card. Those are really the differences. Other than that, the overall style of the game, where you're playing cards face down, or maybe face up if you want to use their abilities around the board, flipping them over, and then, okay, this and this meet here. It's pretty much the exact same thing as Archmage, just a little improved. So just know that going in. Now, the last real big flaw with the game is the end game. Endgame in this can get real tedious. So after everybody's played all their stuff and you flip over all the cards, you're going to look and go, okay, this one you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus 12, 13, 14. So you have 14 attack. I have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, and you're going to do that for every card. So it can get really tedious, especially there at the end when you're having to go, okay, how many are you going to get? All right, you get this one. Now you move to the next one. Okay, you have 7 plus this plus this. I have this plus this plus this. Plus my cards down here. This does this. So the end game can feel really tedious, but it is a good, fun game while you're playing it. There's a lot of stuff that you have to think about during the whole process because of how that end game scoring is. A single point can matter big time, especially if later on down the road, once you play, play your round, you get your play your captains, you get your tokens you get to throw out. That's a big deal because adding one token to something may be the difference between losing that ship or keeping it alive, and that's pretty cool. Aside from the problem with the end game scoring and the fact that it's a very similar game to Archmage Origins, it is a fantastic game. Another thing some people, big fans of the Robotech series, may like is the SDF-1 can actually transform with one of the character powers, which is pretty cool. And it comes with a character, the power, it goes off, and it's pretty cool. Now, what we played of it, all of the captains, all of the special abilities, they seem to be fairly balanced. A lot of them seem very situational, depending on how you think the battle is going to be going, is going to really determine. Some of them are just, this is the one you're playing, unless certain things have happened, and then maybe you'll play these ones. But overall, it is a pretty fun game. Like I said, if you liked Archmage Origins and you want a Robotech version of it that's just improved, adds some more tactics to it, definitely pick this up. If you haven't played Archmage Origins and you like Robotech, definitely pick this up. It is a fantastic, light little strategy game for 2 players. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time in the quarantine.